Hello everyone, it's Galina and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful and sparkly card background. For my card I decided to make a dry embossing with a cover plate die, and you can use a regular die cutting technique to create such pattern. So I'm making my embossing sandwich. For this technique you will need a thin silicone mat, and you can find a similar one in a bakery shop, or you can use a specific embossing mat for dies. I have a regular Big Shot die cutting machine, and I need to open the first step on my multi-purpose die cutting platform to create an embossing sandwich. I run it through my die cutting machine, and here I have perfectly embossed card background. All dies lines are embossed and I don't have cutted parts. Next I'm going to add color on my embossed card background. To color only inner squares, I'm going to use a leftover die cut from previous project that I used with the same die, and I'm going to cover my white panel with this die cut. I taped it down and I have only square openings to cover with ink. I'm going to use 3 different colors of distress inks, and I'm applying them with my Studio Katia blending brushes. If you're interested in colors I use, you can find the list of them on my blog post. I will leave the link in the video description below, so don't forget to check it out. I'm trying to apply those inks with light hand to create a nice soft card background. You can use any type of inks you may have by hand, and of course you can apply those inks in a different direction. For example, you can color vertical or horizontal stripes with one color, or mix them all up. After I'm done with my ink blending, I'm going to remove all those masking tapes and my die cut. Now I can create my sparkly circles. I'm going to use this beautiful bubble stencil, and it includes a lot of different size circles that can be used as bubbles or just a geometric pattern, and I'm going to find a perfect size for my card background. I'm going to create a sparkly spots in the center of each square. I'm placing the stencil on my card background and I'm applying a big amount of liquid glue from Studio Katia. Don't be afraid that you could ruin your stencil with this glue. It can be easily removed with baby wipe or water. Until the glue is still wet, I'm covering it with my sparkly glitter. I'm using Frost Chunky glitter from Studio Katia. I'm applying a quite big amount of it. I'm lightly tap it with my finger to make sure it sticked well. After that I'm removing the stencil and I can move some glitters to make sure I have a nice circle shape. And I'm going to repeat this step for all other squares. This glue dries pretty quick, and after I done my last circle, I have almost dried panel. And with a regular paintbrush, I'm removing any extra glitter. To create a sentiment for my card, I cut out a white rectangle label using a small die from Dotted Pattern set number 4 from Studio Katia, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment from my favorite stamp set called FLORAL WREATH, and I'm stamping it in the center with Versamark black ink. I'm adhering my colorful card background on a standard size A2 card base. I made it from a white cardstock. In the center I'm going to foam mount my sentiment label. Also add a glitter frame around the label. I simply attached it to the glitter paper. And here is my finished card. At last moment I decided to add more shine on this card, and I applied clear shimmer ink on a thin border around the card panel. Thanks so much for joining me today. Full supply list you can find in the video description below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye!